Shalom, shalom, everybody. This is our Prophets of Awakening. This is our beginning of the Sabbath class for Friday night. And we're going to have a little, it's May 22nd, 2020. We're going to go into a moment of silence, then have a prayer, then we go into the class. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at this time. Lord, we have set this time apart at the beginning of the Sabbath day that You have given unto us for rest. We are thankful for the knowledge and the understanding that You have given us up until this point. We seek Thy face on this Shabbat that You shower us with peace, enlightenment, and a sense of togetherness. Oh Lord, we see Thine hand in the affairs of the world. We know and understand that what You have spoken in the past will surely come to pass. Turn not Thy face from us, but hearken unto us and unto our plea. Hearken, O Lord, and do. All praises unto You. Okay, so we're going to do a little current events. Anybody got any current events? Something they want to share with the group that they came across? Okay, well, what I saw today, one of the things I saw that was kind of interesting was, I think it's a setup. When you start to understand how these people operate, this is big old push about Trump wearing a mask, and they keep, Trump and Pence, how they not wearing a mask. And if you remember, all last week we had in the news and on YouTube that a worker that was close to Ivanka Trump had came up positive. And then before that, somebody that worked close to Pence had came up positive. And then they had somebody that worked close to Trump came up with it. And so now, that was last week. Now this week, they've been pushing this thing about Trump not wearing a mask. He need to wear a mask. And so I was looking at today how on YouTube is the Baltimore mayor. But they got a big event in Baltimore on Monday, and Trump's supposed to be coming there to some kind of art convention or something. He's gonna show up there and do a memorial for Memorial Day. But the black mayor said that he advised Trump not to come because he's gonna contradict all his rules that he got out as far as this equal distancing thing and about he have all the people to stay at home and not to come out unless only for essential reasons. And by bringing Trump there, he's contradicting what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. But Trump turned around and did a little press conference and said that him and Ivanka Trump and all his family, they're going to be there Monday, bright and early. So, I'm expecting some drama out of that, man. Yeah. So, like I said, if you want to check it out, you can just Google it. I'm quite sure they got a couple, 2 or 3 videos on it. Anybody hear about that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Baltimore mayor, black guy said he's let me see. He said Trump said he's coming to Baltimore anyway, and his mayor, I can't quite remember his name, but he keep on. I think on 3 different occasions he made it a point to say that he don't think that it's a good idea for him to come there to Baltimore. With Trump coming anyway. And another thing to tie into that, the reason why I know there's something going on with it, there's something going to become of it, is he went to that, I think it was some kind of Chevrolet or car place in Baltimore too. Someplace in Michigan. It wasn't in Baltimore, but it was in Michigan. And he went to this to the car dealership, and everybody else had on masks. He didn't. So there's this big thing going around about him needing to wear a mask, but he rebelling against it. He won't wear it. And that's crazy, because you the president, and you over the coronavirus task force, but you got such a big head, you won't even put on a mask. That's crazy, man. It's like he telling the people, that the whole thing is a hoax. The way he reacting to it, it's like like I said, it's supposedly this super deadly virus that's killing people all around the world, and that's how you approaching it, and you the president. It's crazy. Right. Yeah. So
they declared today that churches are essential.
Oh, they back open?
Yeah, starting Sunday.
Okay, yeah. That's something. So they use the executive order and put Jesus on freeze. Now they're releasing him again. Okay. Yeah. So I had sent this video out. It's called it says, why are we here? A scary truth behind the original Bible. And what it is was, the reason I was dealing with it was because it gives us, the class, and people on here, it takes you to a better and a greater understanding of what these people have done to our writings, to my forefathers, how they those went through the negatively, but it also shows you how they operate. It show you how they operate, because they're saying that they're saying the Anunnaki is from these Samaritan tablets. It's the same story that's related to the flood and all that, told from a different perspective. But then he come right back and say Anunnaki, and like I was saying before, you have to go into those words and break them words down. And Anunnaki means from the sky, those who came from the sky. Well, ain't that what Enoch tell us? The angels, the heaven is in the sky, and these angels came from heaven. So you can call them what you want to call them. If they came from heaven, that's what the prophet's telling us. Our forefathers telling us it's a kingdom above this kingdom. That's what Daniel revealed to the Pharaoh. So I'm saying, what's the big deal about you trying to separate that, using that as a supposed evidence that this story right here supersedes the Bible story, when it's exactly what the Bible telling you. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is, did everybody watch it? I know Wesley said he didn't watch it, but did everybody else watch it?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna play a few minutes of the clip. I got a couple of sections I'm gonna play, and then just break it down.
I've been a preacher for more than 30 years. I've studied and taught through the book of Genesis many, many times in churches all around the world, and I've trained pastors in the skills of interpreting texts. And it's very clear they're not stories about gods. They're stories about the powerful ones in the Bible, and the sky people, the Anunnaki, in the Sumerian tablets. In 1896, eminent scholar Nathaniel Schmidt was fired from his position as professor of Semitic languages at Colgate University. For 11 years, this American university had enjoyed Nathaniel Schmidt's erudition in Semitic languages. He delivered numerous courses in Hebrew, Aramaic, Coptic, Arabic, Syriac, and other ancient languages besides. In fact, Nathaniel Schmidt was one of America's leading scholars in the field. So why, after 11 years of outstanding achievement, was he tried for heresy and fired from his tenure in 1896? Though a devout Christian and a Baptist pastor, the authorities considered that his recent theological papers had struck at the very roots of two world religions, Christianity and Judaism. What Nathaniel Schmidt had done wrong was read the Sumerian and Babylonian and Assyrian texts and notice that they were full of fascinating parallels, stories that occurred there that were uncannily similar to all the stories of beginnings of the Bible. Stories like Adam and Eve, the fall, Cain and Abel, the flood, the limiting of human life, the event at the Tower of Babel. And Schmidt's work demonstrated that the Sumerian accounts and those that followed it from nearly 6,000 years ago were in all probability the source of all those familiar biblical stories. Now, that was a problem in the 1890s, because if you think about it, the church was still reading from the after effects of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species, and it was busy putting together new doctrinal bases and new doctrines of biblical inerrancy to shore up the ship. So the idea that the Bible might actually be based on somebody else's stories was a bit of an embarrassment. It shouldn't have been, because Judaism and Christianity both find their roots in the story of a Sumerian family, the family of Abraham and Sarah. Abraham and Sarah grew up and spent the best part of their lives in Ur of the Chaldees, a Sumerian culture. And so when they emigrated from there, it's hardly surprising that they would carry with them all the stories of beginnings that they had grown up with, and sow them into the foundations of what was to become their culture, their religion, and their Bible. And so it shouldn't be a surprise that in the Bible we have a summary version of all these stories that pepper the Sumerian, Babylonian, and Assyrian texts. The problem and the shock horror is that the original versions, the Sumerian versions of these stories, make no mention of God at all. In the Sumerian originals, these are stories of our ancestors' contact with another species, a species called the Anunnaki. Could Judaism and Christianity's familiar stories of God really be a retelling of our ancestors' close encounters with extraterrestrials?
Yeah. Okay. So with that right there, with that being said, like I was saying before, I got three points I want to deal with. Okay. When you get a chance to watch the video, you're gonna see where they show where Charles Darwin shows evolution, and they show how everything came out of the water first. Like the tadpole, and then and from there it's just funny looking thing comes out of the water, and then the next thing you know, it's got some arms and feet on it, but it's kind of like a ape, and then from the ape it turns into you got to listen to this and watch for this when you're watching the video. They got the chain of evolution. So it's this thing come out of the water that's like he's amphibian. He can live in the water and on land. And then you evolve from that to you stay on the land. You kind of look like a ape, and then from the ape, it comes into a black man. It's a black man. It kind of like between a black man and an ape. But then from there it jumped to the white man with long stringy hair. So the reason I'm talking about this, so like I was saying, when you hear me talking about Shem, Ham, and Japheth is not brothers, look at that. Like I said before, how you gonna get Adam, all his descendants is black? We know that now. Whether they was dark skinned, brown skinned, or whatever, but how when he gets to the flood and he take his 3 sons, how is one of them white? You know what I'm saying? One of them was white with long stringy hair. One of them is black, you know, and then the other one is Korean. That's impossible. So same thing with that. How you going? How does the when it's evolving, it's got melanin because you saying it's a black man. The apes got melanin in them because their skin is pigmented. So then it go from that, from the ape to the black man, then to the white man, evolving to the white man. That's crazy as hell. Because like I said, when you understand what melanin is, where the melanin went. And so we know the story. What the story is? The story is that it's a man that got cursed. The Most High took the melanin out of him. It's 2 different men. Them 2 different men. And then we also know what happened with Cain. So that's, you know, like I say, for somebody that don't know no better, that's smooth. But it ain't smooth when you got the proper knowledge. It's crazy. And, you know what I'm saying? It's no evolution. You gotta erase evolution out your mind when you're dealing with the Most High. It's crazy. So anyway, and then he's saying that the Sumerian tablets is telling you, you know, this stuff is lining up because Abraham and Sarah was in Samaria. They was in Haran when they came. When they let me read it right quick. I don't want to just quote nothing. Are y'all familiar with the story about what Abraham and Sarah in Haran? Hello?
Hello. Is that when they went to see Abimelech, or that's not the same account?
It's before that. It's when, let me get it right quick. Chapter, I think 11.
In Jasher?
Huh?
In 11 in Jasher?
No, it's in Genesis. I mean, the King James.
Oh, shoot. True.
Chapter 12.
Okay.
Well, let me change that. It's in chapter 11. Chapter 11, starting at verse 27.
All right. You got it.
It says, now, these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abraham, Nahor, Haran. See, it's a place called Haran, and it's a man called Haran. It says, and Haran begot Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldeans. That's Samaria. That's Mesopotamia. That's where all this information that we're dealing with on this video is about. And that's why this guy just mentioned that Abraham and Sarah was there, which they were. And he's trying to say that the information that was already there, and Abraham and Sarah picked it up and put it and made it part of their narrative. But like I was saying, what we know is that after the flood was over with, the land of Canaan, which is the land of milk and honey, which was the Garden of Eden before the flood, was given to Shem by Noah, and Canaan was given the land of Mesopotamia. But on his way to the land of Mesopotamia, he saw the land of that was given to Shem, and he saw and looked at it and saw and viewed it and saw how good it was, and he took that land. That's why how Abraham ended up in Ur of the Chaldeans. And we know Abraham had Shem and Abraham had Enoch, the book of Enoch. They had all of the writings of their fathers before the flood. Noah had a book. And we was reading last night how Canaan was wise. And how Canaan had a book. So they had all these books before he went to Mesopotamia. And so it's the other way around. These people from Mesopotamia they got hold of our records and usurped our records. That's the case. So he wanted to make it look like, these people, these Israelites and Hebrews trying to say that they was really stole or illiterate until they came to Mesopotamia. And then they started, all of a sudden they started dealing with writings and all that after they get to Mesopotamia. But our forefather Enoch was taken up to heaven. They dealing with angels, and Enoch knew how to write. Enoch knew astrology and all that because he's dealing with these angels. These same beings he talking about that's coming from heaven. Like it's two different places they coming from. They come from the same place. Some of them just wicked as hell, or became wicked as hell. So anyway, so he trying to usurp our forefathers' writings and make it look like they jumping off of the Samaritan story. But like I said, that's not the case. Okay, so so anyway, another thing about that before I start the video again is that you have to understand it was two different events that happened when you start talking about they saying Anunika, but we know that they're elves, the angels, elves. You got El in the word Elohim, and you also got El in the word angel. So they elves, for thinking like a Hebrew. And he came up with these other sophisticated names because they bore the understanding of our knowledge. So it was two different occurrences that happened with that. The first one is if you go to Genesis chapter 6. Let me know when you get it.
All right. Okay,
it says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, daughters were born unto them. Okay, that's on the earth. It says multiply on the face of the earth. So that's on the earth. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they had chose. Where these sons of God came from?
From heaven.
Okay, there go your sky people right there. And we don't, like I said, a baboon can see this. He's making it like it's some big old new story. When our forefathers have been dealing with angels that come from the sky people from time immemorial. Okay, so this is the first incursion right here, and we know that these the wicked angels that they call is the Anunnaki, whatever, Anunnaki. And so the second incursion was after the flood at the Tower of Babel when the Israelites came there from Egypt. They came there with giants all over the place. So we already know how you get a giant, because the flood killed them all when the flood came. So where these other ones came from? They came back again. It was a second incursion, and they're coming in through this portal at Bethel, where Jacob laid his head down there, and he started ladder where these angels coming in and out, up and down this ladder, coming into this portal, coming in through Bethel. And the Bible tells you that they came in through Bethel, went to Mount Hermon, and then on Mount Hermon they made a pact, an oath with each other that bind themselves together. So if they got judged, they was all see the judgment together. Nobody was going to be able to get separate themselves from the judgment. They all bind themselves together through a mutual agreement. So that ain't some mysterious secret about sky people. It's right here in the scriptures. Yeah. Anybody got any comments or questions before I start the video? No comments? Questions?
It makes sense. That's why.
Okay. And so, like I said before, the Hebrews were displaced by the Canaanites, which is their father Canaan, because he went and saw the land passing through it and viewed it, and he was jealous. And so he usurped the land. That's how we get the story in chapter 11 and 12 of Genesis. That's why Abraham was down in the Ur of the Chaldeans. They were displaced because of what Canaan did. And so Canaan had stole the land from Shem, and then so he obtained Canaan's land, which is Mesopotamia. Or another name for that is Samaria. Okay. So let me pick this up. Okay, hold on a minute.
So for trading rights, he was there for access to the district of Behistun. He wanted to find the Behistun inscription. The Behistun inscription was an ancient royal proclamation carved into a cliff face. It was written in 3 known languages: Persian, Elamite, and Akkadian, which was the common language of the Mesopotamian cultures. The inscription expressed all 3 languages in...
Yeah, just for it's like a need to know thing. Anybody familiar with Elam? E-L-A-M? You know what that is?
No, sir.
No.
Elam, that's he's in the lineage of Noah and Shem after the flood. That's where you get the word. I don't know if anybody paid attention to that, but you got Elamites. The Elamites. Just like Asher. The people from Asher, well, like I was saying, it's 2 groups of people. They both Hebrews, which means those who crossed over, but they split off because of Peleg and Joktan. The two twins were born to Eber. And so it's just like with Lot and Abraham, when they got into the plain by where Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham didn't want to have nothing to do with Sodom and Gomorrah. So he told Lot, let's split up right here. You take whatever part of the land you take, I'm going to take the other part. Well, Lot ended up down there in the Ur of the Chaldeans. Ended up down there with Sodom. We know the story, what happened with him with that. But Lot had no interest in that, and he didn't deal with it. He went away from it. Same thing with Peleg lineage. Peleg lineage didn't deal with Tower of Babel and Shinar, the land of Shinar, but Joktan lineage ended up over there. And one of these meat boys or one of these sons was Elam. That's how you got the Elamites. And so he just mentioned it's 3 different groups of people right here. This thing is almost like the anybody familiar with the Georgia Guidestone?
Right.
Okay, they made these big old stone monuments down there in Georgia with all this writing on it, 3 different languages saying that about what they plan on to do with the population of the world. Well, they got it from this right here. This over there in Iraq, somewhere over in Iraq and Mesopotamia, this big old relief on the wall that these Samaritans carved all these different messages on this big old mountainside in 3 different languages. So my thing is this: one of them is Elamite. That's Hebrew. So you got to hold our records. You done translated it and flipped it all different type of ways. You trying to tell me you couldn't decipher this, but you can decipher our Hebrew text all different type of ways. And these people originated from Hebrews. One of these groups did. Yeah, something to think about.
Cuneiform script. It was the translation key that cuneiform tablets had been waiting for. The memories of Mesopotamia's ancient cultures were suddenly an open book. The glyphs were not mere decoration after all. They were banking records, business agreements, shopping lists, contracts, recipes, inventories, royal histories, and the most ancient narrative in the history of the world. It was in these ancient narratives that the source of the Bible's familiar stories began to emerge. At an academic level, Nathaniel Schmidt was in good company. He was one of a small number who began confronting us with this new layer of our history. I should mention, just to reassure you, that shortly after Colgate University fired him, he did get a new job with Cornell University, and he was professor of Semitic languages there for a full 36 years. So he did land on his feet. His work continued to argue that the cuneiforms reveal that our earliest histories are not about God. They are about our prehistoric contact with the Anunnaki.
Right. So like I was saying before, Cain went away from the Most High. So the information you're dealing with is not going to mention God, Yahweh, or nothing about the angels because they don't know nothing about them. This what these cuneiforms is revealing is the history that we ain't been told us from these people that because they were dealing with fallen angels. We know from the book of Lamech and Cain that Lamech wanted to know why they was dealing with these why they was living in this dingy place and gloomy looking place, and they wasn't getting no they wasn't dealing with the angels. And they heard of Abraham and his children, and they was going to know what's the difference in them and them. So he went to go find out. That's how he came in contact with Canaan. So all this being explained right here when he said there's nothing, no mention of God in it, because he tells us Cain went away from the Most High, and he went to the land of dark soul. He ain't deal with he don't have no contact with heaven. He said Michael had cut him off and cut his people off, and that's what Lamech was troubled about when he got up in age. Yeah, so like I said, this ain't he's not saying something that's revealing.
In the 20th century, the writer Zechariah Sitchin began poring over the cuneiform texts. He highlighted the clear implications of the Sumerian stories, that the Anunnaki were powerful and advanced extraterrestrial species. Their arrival on planet Earth put them at the top of the terrestrial food chain. To create a local workforce, the Anunnaki used sequences of their own genetic code to hybridize a primate ancestor into a human, ready to put to work for their Anunnaki masters. Sitchin argued the word Anunnaki means those who came from the heavens to earth, a phrase that made clear their extraterrestrial origin. Zechariah Sitchin was not an academic. He was not a PhD or a professor. He had a degree from the London School of Economics and worked in commerce. The LSE, I should say, is a pretty august institution. He wrote at a popular level, that's to say for a general audience, and not with the kind of referencing and footnotes that you'd expect to see in an academic kind of tone. And academic critics don't like that. They think that's slack. Some might identify mistakes or bias in his work, and that's then their pretext to disregard his contribution, which is an important one. Now, some writers in the field reject Sitchin's translation of the word Anunnaki, and they would contend that the word's usage tells us that it simply means nobility or royalty, the rulers. I'm not persuaded by that. It's not that that's not true. It's just a very partial answer. It's a very lazy explanation. It simply doesn't ask enough questions. Who were the rulers identified by this word? Why is that word associated with the rulers? You see, if you look at the etymology of the word, at its root meanings, look at the component parts, you have Anu, which means heavens, Ki, which means earth, Anunnaki are those who came from the heavens to the earth. You can follow the logic. But even if you didn't have that narrative embedded in the word itself, as soon as you read the cuneiforms, the stories themselves unpack that is exactly what was going on. And the glyph that they use to indicate the rulers who come down from the heavens at the beginning of the story, that glyph simply indicates the sky. So
like I was saying before, I mean, that's nothing special about that. We already know what that is. So what this video really doing is when you really, you really trying to search it out and search out the truth of what really went on back then
you find out that what it's doing is it's unraveling the New Testament. Because what it's doing is letting you know that the origin of all men ain't come from the same one source. The different origins of men, and which it kills the narrative in the New Testament that Jesus was the second Adam, which means he came from the blood because of Mary. The angel overshadowed Mary, and that blood is the same blood from Adam, and that blood was perfect because he was holy, and then so that's the reason why he was used down the cross. But we see right here, this video is actually unraveling that and showing you that there's a lie, because you got different people from different origins. And so what we're looking at right here is the reason why the flood came, because these angelic beings is, like I was telling you, they over different things in heaven. They know the molecular makeup, whatever you have them over, or they in charge of, they know the ins and out on it. So they like botanists. That's what Sir Francis Bacon trying to copy off of, and George Washington Carver and all them trying to be like these angels. And so they started tampering with the Most High creation, trying to crossbreed stuff. They highly intelligent beings. That's what brought the flood. That's all he's revealing right here. He's revealing these Anunnaki, which is none other than the fallen angels. Those from heaven that came to the earth. That's all he's revealing. So, anybody in the comments? I'm gonna play this last 2-minute clip. Then we're gonna go into the Q&A. No questions? Okay, let me go to this right. Anybody got any comments or questions? Okay, let me go into this last little 2-minute section, and
of the Tower of Babel speaks of 50 technicians who employ mysterious technology to dispatch 300 observers to their stations in the stars. Read alongside the Genesis account, the two narratives confirm one another and paint a vivid picture. Babel was a stargate, providing the observers rapid access to spectrum.
That's what Bethel is. What Jacob saw the top, saw the ladder, is a stargate.
These stations. The thing that got me into this whole field of research was an anomalous word in the book of Genesis. I've been a preacher for more than 30 years. I've studied and taught through the book of Genesis many, many times in churches all around the world, and I've trained pastors in the skills of interpreting texts. So I've long known about this anomalous word. Well, finally, I allowed myself the time to sit down and really drill into what was going on. Genesis uses two words for God. One is Elohim, and one is Yahweh, or Jehovah.
Yeah, so now this is why you see me keep addressing it. This is the heart of the whole issue right here. This word Elohim. Because nobody seems to understand the breakdown of what this word means. And once you dive into that and understand what this word Elohim means, the whole complexity of the Bible, it changes. And the average person don't understand what this word means.
Now, Yahweh is the holy name given to Moses in a time centuries or millennia after all the action described in the stories of beginnings. So the fact that the word Yahweh appears in those much older stories, that clues us that we're not reading the original version of the stories. The stories are being retold by someone after the time of Moses. Now, there's a broad consensus among biblical scholars that the current version of the Old Testament, the Hebrew Scriptures, was edited or redacted sometime in the 6th century BCE, and that the redactor, by putting the name Yahweh into these older stories, the stories that Abraham and Sarah had brought with them, was telling the reader to regard them as God's stories. By using the later name, he's also telling the reader this is not the original version. Originally, they were Elohim stories. Now that word Elohim is a very interesting word because it's a plural form word. It often exhibits plural behaviors. Let us make the humans to look like one of us. We don't want them to become too much like one of us, etc. The word Elohim often takes plural verb forms. It's sometimes translated as God, but in other places it gets translated as false gods, or demons, or angels, or chieftains, or land barons. So why this enormous elasticity in the word's meaning? Well, again, we have to go back to the roots of the word and ask, why is it used that way? And why does it behave like a plural? When you look at its component parts, the word Elohim means the powers or the powerful ones. Now, when you read Genesis,
the seven, that's what that means.
Translating the word that way, the texts change and suddenly line up with the Sumerian text. And one by one, they confirm each other's stories. And it's very clear they're not stories about gods. They're stories about the powerful ones in the Bible and the sky people, the Anunnaki, in the Sumerian tablets. But is there any material evidence that a non-human ruling presence ever occupied planet Earth? One might reasonably ask, why have no physical remains of Anunnaki been found? Firstly, I would note that the more we dig up ancient sites, the greater a diversity of ancient peoples we're finding. If you think about the hobbits that were found in Indonesia, we call them hobbits, I think the proper name is Homo florensis, or the giants of Noble County, or the red-haired giants of North America, or the long skulls of Paracas, etc. There's a great range of people that we're beginning to come across as we dig into our ancient past. So how would we know if we found an Anunnaki? Well, one obvious possibility is by DNA testing. So if Gilgamesh really was a human Anunnaki hybrid, then all we have to do is find the royal tomb and DNA test him. Well, I believe that's exactly what happened in Iraq in 2003. A team went in protected by American troops at the beginning of the 2003 Iraq invasion and found Gilgamesh's tomb. Fassbinder spoke to the BBC. You can go on his website. You can read all about it. Now, the official story is that having located the probable tomb site 16 years ago, we decided not to investigate any further. Similarly, in 1927, the British archaeologist Leonard Woolley discovered a person known as Queen Puabi. Now, she was a high-ranking Sumerian leader who lived around 2500 BCE, and they had found her remains. So again, here's another find which with today's technology provides us with the opportunity to DNA test. We can...
Yeah, so like I was saying before, all it's doing is exposing the New Testament because, like he said, they did do the DNA test. And they found out that with the origins of these people, like Gilgamesh and this lady right here, that they don't have the same type of blood and origins that we have, which supersedes, erects the New Testament and the concept and the ideology of it because we ain't everybody ain't come from the same place. They come from different origins. Yeah, and so with that being said, I want to go to. He mentioned, like I was saying, they slick with words, and you have to be up on that. So he said that these Anunnaki, the narrative is that they came down and they created humans. Like we know that a human is a spectacle in itself. The human body and the whole makeup of a human. So he's trying to say these beings, the one created these humans. This the human being. So let's go to Genesis 1 and 26. I want to show you something right quick. Then we're gonna go into Q&A. So he said they came down and they made humans somewhat like them, but they got into a
altercation about not making them like them, but make them dumb down. But that ain't what the scriptures say. Genesis 1:26 says, you got it, 1:26? You got 1:26, Genesis?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion of the fish of the sea. He don't say nothing about no dumbing them down. He said, let us make man in our image. We know this Michael talking to the other 6. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over cattle, and over every creeping thing, and or the creepers upon the earth. So it wasn't all this about dumbing them down and all this. It's Michael and these 6, which they made in Yahweh's image. And the reason why the human being is so spectacular is because we made in Yahweh's image. And he's the one that concocted all this. That's why the humans are the way they are. And the human body is so fascinating. He even sidebarred the conversation. So, anyway, so with that being said, anybody got any questions about the video? And like I said, I gave you the title of it, which is let me get it again. Yeah, it's
Why are we here?
Why Are We Here? A scary truth behind the original Bible story. It's like about it's 32 minutes. So if you want to go and watch it and reflect on it, you can do that. And so with that being said, we're going to go into the Q&A. Anybody got any questions for Friday night for our Q&A session? We can go into that. No questions? You mean we're going to have one question, one fact question?
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Lynn.
What you got?
And I forgot the verse, but I had been meaning to ask who are the Sabians?
Right. Yeah, that's in a couple of places in there. Yeah, I know it's in 45. It's in Isaiah 45.
It sure is. Yeah, I meant to ask you when we was on there last night. Yeah, like who are they?
Right.
Yeah, 45 and 14. Isaiah 45 and 14.
Yeah, so what we I was telling you, Isaiah is dealing with the captivity, the captivity in Babylon. He prophesied about that, about how they're gonna be released and all that, and come out, and how Cyrus is gonna do it. So chapter 45 says, verse 1 says, "Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, and to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings and open before him the 2-leaved gates, and the gates shall not be shut." Right.
Right.
So to get a clear understanding of what's going on with that, when they was at Mount Sinai, the Most High was talking to Moses. All of them was on Mount Sinai. Yahweh was there with the 7. He told Moses, "I'm gonna send my fear before you, because the giants all over the place." So what is his fear?
The Lord of Hosts.
Okay, and the Lord of Hosts got what with him?
The other 6 angels, right?
So that's who going before Moses and Joshua and Caleb and all them, and wiping out these giants. And all they can see, and so they put so much fear in them because they can't see how they doing this. But they see 7 angels with them doing it, right?
Right.
Same case right here. I'm gonna read verse 1 again. "Thus said the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him." So just like they were going before Joshua and Caleb and Moses, they're going before Cyrus. For what reason? To free the Israelites from the captivity in Babylon, right?
Right.
So once they did that, let me find the verse because we read this last night too. 46 and 11. I'm gonna start at verse 10. 10 and 11 or 46.
Mm-hmm.
You there? Declaring the end from the beginning. Declaring the end from the. Well, I'm gonna start at 9. Remember the former things of old. For I am El, and there is none else. I am El, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Calling a ravenous bird from the east. That's Cyrus, right?
Right.
The man that executes my counsel from a far country. Yea, I have spoken it, I will also bring it to pass, and I have proposed it, and I will also do it. So we see that. So anyway, where the verse is about the Sabians.
Right here in 45 and 14.
Okay, so what's happening is he's telling Cyrus that they know, these people know how Yahweh works. They got something similar to how he worked. They didn't have a name for him because they weren't dealing with him, but they know that he be doing things, but they can't see him. So when Cyrus came with all the power that he had and what he was doing, it was in the same fashion like the Israelites did, like Moses and them did. They said, we're gonna pick it up in 14. Thus says the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and the Sabians, men of factors, shall come over. So this after he conquered them. Because remember, each one of these tribes of giants all over the place. And they thing is that they so powerful, can't nobody deal with them. So here comes Cyrus knocking all of them off. And they can't fathom how he doing it. So they know, they're saying it gotta be that God from the Israelites. He gotta be with them. So let's look at it. So he said, thus said the Lord, the labor of Egypt, the merchandise of Ethiopia, and the Sabians, men of stature, shall come over unto thee, to Cyrus, and they shall they shall be thine. So he conquered them. They for him now. They shall come over to thee in chains. That means he didn't conquer them. He didn't subdue them, right? And they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee, and they shall make supplications. So they worshiping him, just like the Pharaoh did with Daniel. Once Daniel interpreted his dream, the Pharaoh thought Daniel was a god, right? So he said, they're going to fall down unto thee. They shall make supplications unto thee, saying, God is in thee. See, they know how Hebrew God works. They don't see him, but he got to be in you, Cyrus, because of what you're doing. And then he says, and there is none else. There is no God. So they associate him with Yah because of what he's doing. But my point is, go to Daniel chapter 2. I mean Deuteronomy chapter 2. Yeah, I see a lot of people fumble with this about the Sabians, but I'm breaking it all the way down for you. So you in chapter 2, then Deuteronomy.
Yes, sir.
So the Israelites coming out of Egypt, and they on their way to the land of Canaan, to the promised land. They come across all these different giants. Because one set of giants is in verse 10, right?
Right.
It says, and the Edom dwelt therein times past, a people great and tall and many, and the Anakim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then go to 12. The Horim also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau deceived them when they had destroyed them. Keep on going. 20.
Mm-hmm.
20 says that also were accounted land of giants. Giants that were therein in old times, and the Ammonites called them Zamzummim, and a people great and many and tall as Anakim, but the Lord destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them and dwelt in their stead. Okay, so we go back to 45 and 14. You there?
Right. You back?
Thus says the Lord, the labor of Egypt, the merchandise of Ethiopia, and the Sabians, men of stature, tall, of stature, tall and strong. What's that? A giant, right?
Giant, right.
See that? And they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over and they shall fall down unto thee and shall make their supplication unto thee, saying, God is in thee, and there is none else. There is no God. And so they forefathers saw what Moses and them did when they came in. That whole land of Canaan was giants all over the place. And Moses and Joshua did the same thing to them that Cyrus doing. So they saying you got to be him. You got to be the same. You got to be the same God from the Israelites. And so these giants coming up to him, falling down on their knees, worshiping him. Like I said, like Darius did with who that was. Darius did that with Daniel, and then the Pharaoh did it with Joseph. When he asked Joseph to interpret the dream, Joseph said, "Let me go speak to my God, and I'll be back." And he came back and broke the dream down, made him remember the dream and interpret it. Then the Pharaoh fell down and started worshiping Joseph. And Nebuchadnezzar did the same thing with Daniel. And so they're doing the same thing right here, these giants with Cyrus, because they can't see how he able to do what he's doing. He's got to be some kind of supernatural force with him in order for him to do that. So once he had conquered them, and was just like Nebuchadnezzar did, he took the choice of the Israelites and took them to Babylon, right?
Right.
How he take them? In chains, right?
Mm-hmm.
So look what 14 says. Thus says the Lord, the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and the Sabians, men of stature. See, he didn't have to put that in there, but he put it in there. Men of stature, they tall, shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. They shall come after thee in chains. That means they captive. That means even subdued them. Mm-hmm. And they shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee, and they shall make supplications unto thee, saying, surely God, Yahweh, is in thee, and there is none else. There is no other God. Ignorant of the fact that it's Michael that's doing it, but they think it's they don't know the difference. That answer the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else got a question?
I have a question about 2 Chronicles 7:14.
Okay. What'd you say? No, I was talking to AJ about, they got that all mixed up too with so people are ignorant of the fact about these giants. And we know that giants, we know the story that how the giants got here, where they trying to say that the sons of God that's in Genesis chapter 6 is Seth, the Sethians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we know that ain't, because he said that. Let's go there right quick before I go to what you was talking about. It says in Genesis chapter 6. It says right here. You got chapter 6.
You got it.
So they want to fumble with that. They say that the Sethians, right? But verse 3 says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years old. There were giants in the earth. So they trying to say that Adam's descendants were men of stature, which we're talking about knowledge. But that's not what he's talking about. When you look at this right here, there are giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, he tell you how you get them. When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore they bore children unto them. The same became the mighty men. That's the giants, right?
Right.
And that's what we just read over there. Men of stature, not knowledge, but of great stature. Giants, big.
Physical.
Right. Physically,
Right, physical.
yeah.
But for time anymore, they've been trying to make them the Sapiens, saying that they crossed over and started sleeping with the 6 day Cain's descendants and the 6 day man. But that's not the case, because the 4 explains it. You got giants because of these angels is tall, and when they went into these women, you got giants, men of stature. Yeah. So what you said, 2 Chronicles what?
2 Chronicles 7:14.
Yeah, it says the son of a woman of the daughters of Dan.
No, wait. No, 2 Chronicles chapter 7.
Oh, 7. I
14.
went to chapter 6. All right, my bad. 14 says, I'll start at 12. Says, and the Lord appeared unto Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven, that there'll be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will they hear from heaven and forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. Okay.
Okay. So when he says, the question is, he says, then I will hear from heaven. So I was wanting you to break down who is talking to who and who is going to hear from who.
Okay. So go to back to chapter 11 of Genesis.
Okay.
And this question right here is what let you know about who the Lord of hosts is. It exposes who he is. Chapter 12.
Genesis chapter 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, this when the Lord called Abraham. We know it was it Yahweh that called Abraham or Michael?
It was Michael.
So it says, verse 1, now the Lord has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abraham took Sarah his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. Now, verse 6, and Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plains of Moreh, and the Canaanites were then in the land. 7, and the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said unto thy seed will I give this land, and there he builded an altar. See that? An altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. Who is that?
The Lord of hosts.
Okay, so like I said, the Hebrew is you can't deal with the Israelite male without dealing with the ram. The ram and the Israelite male is synonymous, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the ram and the Hebrew male connected to? The altar,
Mm-hmm.
which is connected to the sacrifice. Who out of this verse right here they sacrificing to?
They are sacrificing to the Lord of hosts.
The Lord of hosts. So
if they sacrifice to the Lord of hosts, then who they praying to?
They're praying to the Lord of hosts.
Okay, there you go. So now let's go back to 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse. I'm gonna start at 12 again. So now they sacrificing. So the temple connected to the sacrifices. So he tells them. So David wanted to build him a house. It's not Yahweh's house. Yahweh got a house in heaven. So it's not Yahweh's house. So he says, 12. Solomon. This is the day when Solomon dedicated the temple after it was built. He said 12. And the Lord appeared unto Solomon by night. Same Lord that appeared to Abraham, Michael.
Okay.
And said unto him, I have heard thy prayer. See that? So that's self-explanatory right there. He said, I have heard your prayer, and I have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. I tell you right there who they sacrifice to. It's his house.
Okay.
13. If I shut up heaven, he talking, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people. So let's look at that. So, didn't locusts come in Egypt?
Yeah, that's what it was reminding me of when you read that. I made a connection to. So the Lord of hosts is the one that brought those 10 plagues.
Right, exactly. And then 14 says, "If my people." So we see that's his people. So like I said before, that's why he's saying my inheritance. You can't get a Yahweh nothing. Everything is.
Right.
So whoever this person is, they was given is the Israelites. So he says, if my people, which was given to him from Yahweh, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, pray to him, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. So why is he saying, then will I hear from heaven and heal their land? So go back to Exodus 23.
Okay. Exodus 23.
Okay, so I'm in verse 20. We go to this verse all the time, but it's being magnified today. We in 23:20. You there? They on Mount Sinai, and we know Yahweh on Mount Sinai up in the thick cloud. He called Moses up. All Moses heard was his voice. He said, "Come up here." The 7 up there with him. So Moses go up into the cloud. Yahweh talking to him. He says, "Behold, I send an angel before thee." Who is that? Michael, right? To keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, Michael. Obey his voice, as Michael. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. So what's it telling us? The same thing he said over here in 14. Right. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven. So he's telling you right here, that he can't pardon your transgression because he got to check with me. Over in 21, say, beware of him, obey his voice, provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. So he got to check with him before he can pardon his transgression. So you say, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah, that's
so
what
you
I was
say.
going to say. Break it down a little bit more.
Right. So you say, well, what are you talking about? Go to Daniel chapter 12.
Okay, Daniel.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if the Lord of hosts is saying, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and all of that, then he say, I will hear from heaven. Is he going to hear from the Most High? Or?
Yeah, that's where I'm going right now.
Okay. So Daniel
chapter 12.
Okay, got it.
So where we at is, we know there's been hoodwinked, but we at the end. At the end, when Israelites get ready to be delivered, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up,
the great prince was standing for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time my people, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. New Testament not included. You're talking about the book, the Old Testament Tanakh. And
right.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth, that's Ezekiel 37, awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Then I, Daniel, look at this, and behold, there stood the other two. There's three of them there, just like in Genesis 18. The one on one side of the bank of the river, and the other on the other side of the bank of the river. And then six. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of those wonders? So he asked Michael. Michael standing on the water, right?
Yeah.
And then 7. This the answer. And I heard the man clothed in linen, which is upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven.
Come on.
And swore by him that liveth forever, that it shall be for a time, and half a time, and when he had accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. So he checked with heaven.
Yeah, wow.
Okay. That's what he's talking about in 2 Chronicles 14, 7 and 14.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You got another question?
No, that was it.
Nobody else have a question?
Quick question, Leonard. I know we've been talking extensively over the last week about kind of the order of things with the Most High and the Lord of Hosts. I was just a general question. You see or feel that how do you say it? The Lord of Hosts may be looking at, sometimes we almost want to go straight to the Most High, or in a lot of cases communicate directly with Him. Do you think there's any considerations of not doing that, or how would He be reacting to or responding to, us just kind of going straight to the Most High with concerns?
Well, to me, what my interpretation of that, from what I gathered, is the fact that you just like it's like put money in your pocket, and there's a big old hole in your pocket. It just falls, you're going through on the ground. Money falling on the ground. Because there's no order to it. It's just not part of the process. So you just blowing hot air. Because we see in scriptures where now, because we're at the end and the Most High is revealing His order to us, we see now that He got order. You got to pray that He got a person in place to pray to. It's like the way to look at that is if Israel didn't have a king. Imagine if Israel didn't have a king, or imagine if Israel didn't have a high priest. Imagine that. So it's the same thing. If you praying to Yahweh, but He got the Lord of Hosts that's receiving all the prayers. But you're trying to pray to Him, straight to Him. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And so what these people, that's another reason why you hear me saying Esau is a genius, because of like we Israelites. There's a lot of things, because of the melanin that's in us, is going through, after time, it's going to manifest its own self. And then so you sitting there praying about something, and the whole time the Most High put that in you, and it's going to happen anyway. And so then when it happens, you think, well, your prayer's done it. But He put it in place. and it's already going to happen. You know, so like I said before, look at the real things that we put, like Daniel. Daniel was in a predicament where he's going to get he's going to get himself and a lot of Israelites killed if he didn't reveal the dream to Nebuchadnezzar. So Daniel went out and prayed to the Most High. He showed up and broke the dream down. Told him what the dream was. Told him what the dream meant, and then told him what the solution was to the dream. But they got us thinking that we praying for this and praying for that when the Most High had already told us that heaven is shut up from us. So a great example of that is I go outside and it's fall. It's 4 seasons: winter, summer, spring, and fall. And I go outside and I start praying to the Most High that winter come. Winter come anyway. It's gonna come anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm praying it's raining. It's raining, and I'm praying. I go out there and pray to the God that the sun come up. The sun's gonna come up. Eventually, the sun coming up because it's part of His orders. Mm-hmm. So that's what they got us doing. That's what Esau did to us. We praying about stuff that's gonna happen regardless. It's just like these prophecies. You praying about something about Lord, come and get us out of America. Well, He already told you He's gonna come get you out of America. Mm-hmm. So you praying about something that He already ordained and already gonna happen. You know, it's or you know what I'm saying, like even with sicknesses. You know, the human body, He already the melanin in the human body to heal itself. So you sitting there saying you praying about something that somebody get stabbed. Your cousin or somebody gets stabbed and he at the hospital. You praying about it, that it heal up. He got healing elements in the body, healing elements in the blood. It's gonna heal it up. If it's ordained that He's gonna die, He's gonna die. And then the man comes 6-7 days later, he comes walking out the hospital and it's been healed up. What the hell? But he already he created it's in the blood to repair his own self. If he was gonna die, he's gonna die. And then you running around talking about a miracle. There ain't no miracle. He got all that has been spoken and set in place when He created man. Like I said before, pray. I mean, if that's the case, pray about this coronavirus. That you wake up in the morning, the coronavirus gone, and see what happens. Yeah.
Right. So could we be unduly offending Him by doing that? I mean.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do. I think so. And so what I did was it's just me. I looked at what happened with when he told Uzzah, David's friend, not to touch the ark. When he touched the ark, he killed him in front of David. And that's what people not understanding. Like at the waters of Moriah, whatever that place, when he made the water come out of the rock, he told Moses, I'll be standing on the rock. So everybody else can, just like I'm showing you those men of stature, they didn't see Michael, but the Israelites see him. So because they couldn't see him, they think Cyrus is the God, because they don't see the power that's behind Cyrus. So Michael was standing on the rock, and Moses see him, and so he's supposed to be striking. When he strikes the rock, Yahweh is standing there. He see him, but the people don't see him. So that's the same thing. So you sitting there trying to praying to somebody else when this Most High got this being right here in places to receive your prayers, but you praying to somebody else. It's almost the same as going up in the high places. You in the land of Israel. There's mountains in the land of Israel. These angels are up on top of these mountains, but it's Michael's inheritance. And you up on a mountain, in Michael there, but you up on a mountain calling another angel.
Mm.
So, like I was saying before, when he killed Uzi, David saw it. The other people ain't see it, but he saw him kill. That's what people not understanding about Yahweh and these angels. They got you thinking that they, they're like Jesus. They nice. He ain't nice. He told Uzi, don't touch that ark. No man ain't supposed to touch his ark. When he touched it, he killed him right there in front of David. And so, like I was saying before, he says when Joab killed his brother, he says he came up to him and he smote him. So what do smote mean? It's a way you kill a man. When you soldiers, you go through the sword through the fifth rib, and right in between that fifth rib and the fourth rib is the heart. So you go right through there into the heart and kill him. That's what smote means. So it says Michael smote Uzi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at that. You said Michael smote Uzi and killed him. David saw it, right? So do Michael have a sword?
Always.
So he got a sword. So what, he stuck his finger through his fifth rib, or did he stick the sword through there?
Glistening sword.
He smote him right there, and David backed up and gave him 50 feet. He supposed to gave him 50 feet, but he gave him 150 feet. He got the hell away from him. See? So that's what the people not understanding. So it ain't like I was saying, you talking about let's go in the wilderness. I don't want to see the nigga go in the wilderness. And not when he angry, pissed off. So you don't want to go in the wilderness. Look what Moses done in the wilderness to the Israelites, the ones that wouldn't conform. You better go. You think that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you made a good point. I mean, the first part of that is, if you're praying to an idol, I mean, you're certainly setting yourself up for, to be destroyed.
Right.
But for the so-called Hebrew or Hebrew Israelite who know better or should know better and doing that, I mean,
right,
that's a whole different category.
Right. Especially if you've been awakened. And yeah. So on that same note, we was we've been recently. I don't know who got the book on the line though, but some of us got the book of Lamech of Cain, and it tells you how that Lamech went and inquired of Canaan how to pray to Yahweh. He showed him how to do it, but he wouldn't ask him. He wouldn't answer him, and so the book tells you he prayed for 25 years. He prayed for 25 years, and Mike he ain't looked back. That's why Lamech was so angry. He prayed. He saw what the Israelites was doing, and he was dealing with them. He prayed for 25 years. And Mike ain't never looked back at him one time. Come on. Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that answer the question?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay.
I think that we just got to be careful, when we're praying, just in a general sense, when we're praying who we're praying to, just to keep everything in its place.
Wait. Another way to look at that too, which is what it dawned on me the other day. Well, how people don't, it's not, they haven't really registered in people's mind. If you go to the car dealership and buy you a brand new car, it's got a manual inside the glove box, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You get in the car and you look at what the manual tell you how to start it up and how to drive it, and then everything good. Well, that's what Michael is. It's just like going and buying a used car. He got a manual right here. If you do what it says, then you drive him just like you drive the car. It's when you don't do what you're supposed to be doing. And so you said, what are you talking about? Well, that's what David said. He said, but I started out, man, we had some issues. And then I thought you was my good old buddy. But now I know not to go to the left or to go to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he died. He figured all that out. Solomon, Noah, they finally figured out what they were dealing with. And then they knew what to do, go to the left and not to go to the right, to go right down straight down the middle and do what was told them to do. Just like driving a new car. Ain't that so?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. But that's hard, well, now. Go ahead.
Right. Could you talk about Genesis chapter 3 and verse 24?
Okay.
What was the significance of that? And what caused it? What caused that? I mean, yeah.
3 and 24?
Yeah.
So it says he drove out the man and placed at the east of the garden of Eden a cherubim, and the flaming sword was turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Well, they sinned. That's Adam and Eve. So that's Michael.
Right. That was my question, because it said a cherub.
Yeah, that's what they are. Cherubim. That's what I was saying about that I am. That I am, it's like in English, S is the same as I am in Hebrew. That's why I was talking about on the video we just broke down. The guy was breaking down the word Elohim. It's plural. That I am is plural. So the plural word for in verse 24, plural would be CHERUB. That's one. Mm-hmm. But the I am on it makes it more than one.
Okay.
So you say, what are you talking about? Well, Genesis 18. It's cherubim came to Abraham.
Meaning more than one.
Yeah, it was 3 of them there, so it's cherubim.
Okay.
And so one more another example is Daniel, right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Says, Daniel was, so the angel that came to him, when they come, you lose all your strength. Says, Daniel was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. And I came near unto one of them that stood by. So it's more than one cherubim there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So the cherub one was put there so that they wouldn't return.
Right. So let's look at that. There's 2 trees in the garden. We know that they're not regular trees, right?
Mm-hmm.
They cherubim. Satan is the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right?
Right.
Who's the tree of life?
Michael.
Who just drove them out in 3 and 24?
Michael.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have a question?
Yes. Okay, so when we return to our land that was given to us, is the Garden of Eden a part of that, or we never go back to the Garden of Eden?
That is the Garden of Eden. He says that in the last days he's gonna renew the land. He's gonna be at the Garden of Eden. Right.
Okay. Mhm.
Example that when the spies went to go spy the land out, they had clusters of grapes that was bigger than a man, one cluster of grapes.
Mhm.
That was the Garden of Eden.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else got a question? No more questions? Okay, so I'm going to read the Psalms right quick, and then we're going to close out. Still ain't too late for a question if you got one. Okay, I'm going to read Psalms. I'm going to read Psalm 16. It says, David seeks preservation and blessing. Yeah. Okay, preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my Lord. My goodness extendeth not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellence in whom is all my delight. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after another God. That drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names to my lips. The Lord is the portion of my inheritance, and of my cup thou maintainest my lot. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage. I will bless the Lord, who have given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night season. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Okay? So the thing that I get out of that was verse 8 says, I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoice. My flesh also shall rest in hope. So that means that why he did. Rest means that he did. So he's going he passed away. He passed away knowing he's going to be resurrected. Mm-hmm. So that concept of thought right there itself killed the New Testament. But anyway, yeah. So anybody got
the New Testament? It kills the New Testament in what sense, as it relates to death?
Where it says that Jesus came and died for all everybody. The blood, he shed his blood for everybody, and so when he died, they saw the saints walking in the streets in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. That's a lie from the pits of hell, because Ezekiel 37 ain't happened yet.
Right.
So that's a lie. Mm-hmm. So David says, hey, we're gonna use Moses as an example. Moses, he took Moses up on Mount Nebo and showed him the land, and then he says, and he killed Moses. Moses passed away. Then it says Moses' soul was gathered unto his fathers. Where they said? In heaven, up in these chambers. Mm-hmm. They got different lots they go to. So he said right here, he says in verse 8 says, I have set the Lord always before me, because he is my right hand. He is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore my heart is glad, and my glory rejoices. My flesh, that's what the body is, the soul is encompassed by the flesh. My flesh also shall rest in hope. So he's knowing that he's going to bring the body back and put his soul back in it. Mm-hmm. So ain't nothing Jesus got to do for that to happen.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody got anything else? Okay. Let me turn this off.